I was still holding the door when I asked it. Calm voice, polite smile. "Did you ask the owner of the house for permission?" My daughter-in-law stood in the hallway with two oversized suitcases, lips curved in a victory smile she hadn't earned. My son burst out laughing behind her, loud, careless, cruel. "Mom," he said, wiping a tear of amusement from his eye, "she doesn't need to ask for permission in her own house." I smiled back. 10 minutes later, they were begging. I built that apartment with silence and sacrifice, every tile paid for with overtime, every wall stood on years of postponed dreams. When my husband died, the house learned my footsteps. It knew my grief. It was mine long before it was ever ours. When my son married her, I made space. I always did. I told myself that love meant shrinking, that mothers were meant to fade into the background once their sons found wives. I signed nothing. I questioned nothing. I trusted everything. That was my first mistake. I still remember the day I met her. Sweet voice, soft laugh. She brought pastries and called me Ami with practiced warmth. She praised my cooking, admired the house, asked questions that felt like respect back then. I mistook curiosity for gratitude. I mistook strategy for affection. My son changed slowly. That's how manipulation works. First, small jokes at my expense, then decisions made without me, then sentences that began with "she thinks" instead of "we think." I noticed doors closing, conversations stopping when I entered rooms, my name replaced with silence. The betrayal didn't arrive loudly, it seeped in. The first crack was a bank message that wasn't meant for me, a joint account alert, my name missing, my house listed as primary residence under someone else's financial planning document. I read it twice, then a third time. My hands didn't shake, my heart did. I didn't confront them, I observed. I watched her rearrange furniture without asking, watched him defend her choices before I spoke, watched my home turn into a stage where I was no longer the lead character. Then came the sentence that told me everything. "Mom, maybe you should consider moving to a smaller place. This house is too big for you now." Too big, after everything I carried inside it. That night I sat alone in my room and planned like a woman with nothing left to lose and everything to reclaim. I met a lawyer quietly, brought documents older than their marriage, deeds signed in ink that predated her existence in our lives. I reviewed every utility bill, every tax payment, every bank transaction. I didn't raise my voice, I sharpened my patience. Ownership is power, silence is leverage. I waited. Which brings us back to the door, to the suitcases, to his laughter. 10 minutes later, my lawyer arrived. She stepped inside like the air had changed pressure. Calm, professional, unimpressed by arrogance. She laid the documents on the table without drama. "This property," she said, tapping the file once, "belongs solely to my client. There is no transfer of ownership, no lease, no legal right of residency." My son stopped smiling. My daughter-in-law spoke first. "That's not possible. This is our marital home." I finally spoke again. "No, this is my house. You were guests who forgot to ask how long you were welcome." The color drained from my son's face when he saw his name nowhere on the deed, when he realized jokes don't override law, when he understood that confidence built on assumptions collapses fast. They argued, they pleaded, they promised. I watched, silent, controlled, free. When she cried, I didn't look away. When he begged, I didn't comfort him. I felt no joy, just balance returning to the world. By sunset, the suitcases were leaving the same way they entered, not victorious, not laughing. As the door closed, my son turned back one last time. "You planned this." I nodded. "No, I prepared for it." That night I walked through my apartment alone. The walls exhaled. The silence felt earned. I didn't feel like a villain. I felt like a woman who remembered her worth. Betrayal doesn't deserve rage. It deserves consequences. They thought ownership was loud. I proved it was quiet. And that's the difference between taking a house and being the one who truly owns it.